Hi everybody. I don't know if you can see very well. I'm really sorry if you can't. But I told you guys that I was planning on doing spell work for all of us and doing a spell together. So the spell that I finally felt right, that was perfect to share with you guys. It's actually going to be a 2-part spell. So since it's the waning moon, I actually just finished the spell again. Part of the spell is to banish poverty from my life. To banish overspending, disorganization, things like that. And with my magic, I always incorporate, because of the tradition I'm in, also a mortar and pestle. I use it to grind my herbs, but I use it as an energy tool. So to banish, you would go counterclockwise around the rim. Well, you do it inside, and you would do it a little bit more fluidly and gracefully than I am right now. I had just finished the spell, so my energy's still very wild right now. So I do that towards the end. I go counterclockwise to banish, and let's say you were trying to summon something, so for the next part of the spell, to bring in prosperity and wealth, I'm gonna go clockwise. It's mainly to call forth on the energy. I can't really get into detail on how I look at mortar and pestle because the tradition I'm in is very sub rosa, secretive. So basically, though, you would look at it as the male force, the male energy, the womb, the female energy. And you can incorporate that into any tradition or practice that you're in. So this spell is very simple. You're going to need a black candle. I actually got a big candle because I plan on doing it more than one night during the waning moon. Last waning moon I didn't. I did it one night, which this waning moon I plan on doing it more than once. You're going to need pictures of you or your family, whoever you're focusing the energy on, of banishing poverty away from. So I have pictures of me, my husband, my son, my daughter. Because that's my family, that's us, that's who I'm planning on banishing the poverty away from. I don't want us to be stuck in debt anymore. I don't want us to be stuck in this trap that we're in constantly of not having money and not being able to save money, overspending, not being responsible of our spending. We're in a poverty cycle basically right now, and it's all our own doing. We're not obviously my children, but you get my drift and what I'm trying to say. So that's who I'm focusing the energy on all of us. You're going to need some kind of banishing oil. This is actually a return to sender banishing oil that I got from a lovely person who had sent it to me here on YouTube. She gave it to me in a love mail box, and I've had it for a while, and I've used it quite a few times, and it's very potent, and I love it very much. So it's the reason I used a return to sender banishing oil is because the energy felt right. I'm returning the energy that's come to us for poverty. It's not necessarily from anybody, but it's energy of poverty that's been brought to us, whether it's a constant flow of negativity or it just feels right to me. I'm returning this energy back into the world, back into the cycles of where it belongs instead of being with us. Not necessarily trying to give it to us, but I'm returning this energy back into the earth. I'm not explaining it very well, but it makes sense to me. So, you're going to need, as far as your herbs, I keep saying you're going to need, but, tweak it, do whatever you want. however you want. I actually got this spell, the setup of the spell. I did a lot of it my own, but I transformed it into my own. But I got this set up, the idea for the spell. I think it was alchemyworks.com. I believe that's what it was. And it was a banishing poverty spell, and I looked up to it. And a lot of it I left the same, but a lot of it I left different. Or I changed for me. It asked for salt, for part of the salt. So I made my own protection salt blend with a couple different salts in my intention. So that's what I used to circle us with, was my salt blend. But you can use any salt that you want. I use a protection salt of Himalayan sea salt, regular iodized salt, and I was going to use black salt too, but I didn't have any at the moment. But black salt would be great to put in this too, because it's a banishing spell. You're going to need crushed red pepper flakes, basil, the salt, and calamus root, which is also known as sweet flag, if you don't know, which I'm sure most of you do though. So you're going to need those. First, you want to start off with your candle. You're going to put your energy into it. You're going to put your intent into it fully. And then you're going to take a knife. I use actually a rose thorn that is connected to my tradition. And she of the thorn-blooded rose is the spirit I work with. So, but, totally do it your own. Get a knife or a needle or a pin, and you're going to carve what you're banishing poverty away from. And I mean, honestly, this doesn't have to be a banishing poverty spell if you don't want it to be. It could be any kind of banishing spell, honestly. That's just what I chose. You're going to carve it in, put your intention. You're going to say and put your intention. As you're doing that, you're going to circle it with some basil, because basil is very, very good for protection. It's very good for banishing things away from you that you don't want. It has a very strong, potent smell. It keeps things away. Basil is great in the garden to keep bugs away, to repel what you don't want. So that's an amazing herb. Red pepper flakes, great for banishing, great for getting rid of. Once again, bugs hate it. So it's great for that. And then also, calamus is a great controlling herb. Using it to control and dominate is something that herb is amazing for. So you can use it for that as well. But that's one of the reasons why it's in this spell. You're trying to control. You're trying to put your energy into it and make